Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, Marty Johnson, aka Dawg Knight. Now, today, as you can see, I'm in a different location because I had to move. What we did is my son's bedroom, when he left college, became my makeshift studio. So I had to move everything out because my son is currently spending some time at home, which is great. I'd love to see my son, but it caused me to have to change my studio venue. So I'm going to turn this up because I had to reset everything. Let's see how this goes. Can't tell. Well, if you can hear me fine, that's fine. Hello, Jason Burns. Good morning, Camel. How you doing? So today we're gonna be here for sure. Hey, Grouchy Gamer. Good morning. I'm going to again. This is another day where I'm flying by the seat of my pants a little bit, but I do have my reparations coffee, courtesy of Hope Tap Jesus, and I will be here for about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. Got to look at the clock, and pretty much the same thing we do every day. We take a look at what's going to be happening and what you're going to be talking about later today by checking out the Twitter trends, and we'll check out a few headlines like we always do. So let's get right into it. One programming note. Well, two programming notes, actually. One, I'm not going to talk about the Covington kids today. I may do a recap after this weekend, but speaking of this weekend, I also probably will not be streaming on Friday. I am attending my brother's wedding in California. This will be, if you don't know my story, I discovered my natural parents in the early 2000s. My mother, who lives in California, my father, who lives in Nigeria, but my father also has a couple of my brothers and sisters via my father live in California. I'm going to attend my first Nigerian wedding. And my understanding of Nigerian weddings is that they are very elaborate and beautiful and lots of things to, lots of cool traditions. And I just happen to be the elder at this wedding. So I'm going to experience a few things that I haven't experienced yet, but I'm also just looking forward to seeing my brother get married. My brother is, he's a great guy, has his fiance is just gorgeous, and I love them very much, and I'm excited for my brother Nadozi. So let's get it going here. Like I said, we're going to start with Twitter trends like I tend to do. And yesterday you heard me complaining that when you look into Twitter trends every day, Twitter needs to maybe fix this, because you can't have the thoughts of the day trending every day. Tuesday thoughts, Tuesday motivation, and Tuesday morning are the three top trending things on Twitter this morning. But you know what? Since I haven't done this yet, I'm actually going to click one of them. So let's just go into the number one trending. Let's see what people are thinking about today as far as Tuesday thoughts. Now, it tells me that BitTube is tweeting about this, and Airtime is tweeting about this. I'm not familiar with either of those two venues, but let's check out some Tuesday thoughts and see if anything profound comes up, because I don't know, it seems to never do that. By the way, if you can hear me okay, just press 1, because I haven't quite... I hope this mic setup's different. Maybe I should just listen to myself for a second. Give me 1 second here. Let me just unmute my my thing here. Let me see what I sound like. I hope this mic setup's different. Maybe I should just listen to myself for a second. Give me 1 second here. Okay, it sounds just fine. I'm going to go with that. Let's go back into Twitter trends for the day. Tuesday thoughts. Let's see. BitTube. Oh, so BitTube has an airtime extension that enables you to have an available $2 balance. Oh, so they have ways that you can monetize videos on BitTube. That's another service. Right now I'm only on YouTube, and I am on, what's the other one? BitChute. And then I also have a account at stream.io, but I don't use any of those yet. I don't think you can even live stream at BitChute, but I know you can do it stream.me, stream.io. I don't know. I just pulled it up and it gets the right website. Hey, good morning, Jason. Oh, I already said good morning, Jason. These are the same guys. Everyone's okay. No one has popped in. There's some new viewers in. You know what? If you're new, if you don't mind not lurking, just put yourself in the chat so I know that you're here, and I'll say hi. All right. So anyway, BitTube has ways to monetize things. Let's see. And there are only 2 genders, and abortion is murder. My work is done here. Thank you. Tuesday thoughts. She's gonna get some pushback. I've been seeing a lot of stuff like that lately, and not that I I'm not going to argue with people about those things anymore. I don't see early term abortion as murder, but some people do, and that's your prerogative. I have a real problem with later term stuff, but it's an issue that I do not get myself involved in. I am, and for the most part, pro-choice, but I just think there's some ways that how about we reduce the need for them first? That's my whole thought. Let's see. What more Tuesday thoughts? Prox. I don't think we need to worry too much about this one. Just a gut feeling. Let's see. Migrant caravan swells to 12,000. Wait, this is a meme or member? Oh, 12,000 members. I'm looking at the photo they put up there, and I'm like, what? 12,000 memes? That could be a problem if the migrant caravan swelled up to 12,000 memes. Can you see that there? So it says members, but of course it looks like 12,000 memes. Could you imagine? More likes than retweets than replies. Twitter law says that is a good tweet so far. Yep, well, that's true. There's 677 likes and 293 retweets and only 36 replies, and it's 3 hours old. But just wait until that other crowd finds it. I'm pretty sure, you know what, sometimes I think there are certain tweets that people just put out there to clickbait. I don't know. I'm tired of the argument. I'm tired of the gender versus sex argument. I'm tired of all that stuff. Doesn't mean that I don't have my opinions, but I just choose not to get into it too much. I believe me, I have my opinions. All right. Anything else on Tuesday thoughts? Yeah, God bless the USA, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Donnie Wahlberg, the famous Donnie Wahlberg of New Kids on the Block, and also he was on what's that show with Tom Selleck? That's a great show. It's a police show, something Blue Bloods. He's an actor, performer, and also he's a partner in the world famous Wahlburgers. And Wahlburgers, he's Mark Wahlberg and Donnie Wahlberg are brothers, and their other brother basically has started a hamburger chain. And in fact, I was eating at a Hy-Vee. It's a grocery store chain here in the Midwest, the Western Midwest, I'll call it. And they have these market grill restaurants, which are really good. They have a great brunch, but they are now selling Wahlburgers too. So that's interesting. Anyway, let's see what he says. The person that tells you can't is telling you that because they don't believe they can. If you believe them, that's on you. If it's you telling yourself you can't, that's on you too. Well, that's a good solid piece of advice if you ask me. You know, if you say you can't, you probably can't, but hey, why tell yourself you can't instead of I'll try? Let's see, what else? Larry Kim, are you spending your time doing what you love? This man will make you change the way you look at time. Should we watch this? Yeah, should we watch it? What else do we have to do? This is what we do on when we're doing Twitter trends. Let's see what this is.
And roughly around here, we start to work. And we work.
Wait, let me start this over.
And roughly around here, we start to work. And we work. We keep working all the way until we're 65 years old. So as you can see, that is most of your life. So it is very important to spend this time doing something that you love. Being a kid is nice. Retiring is nice. But what about the years in between? These should not be just a write-off and just waiting for Friday. Just get through it. You can't wait till retirement, because once those years are gone, they're gone. What I'm saying is, if you're working at a job that you hate just for a paycheck, then you need to make a change in your life. Because...
Okay, so that's, interesting. Funny thing is, I did that about, 12 years ago. I was doing a job where I was making pretty good money, but I didn't really necessarily like it. And then when I started working for UPS and figured out that I could get benefits just for working 4 hours a day, I went and made a business out of being a basketball coach. And that is absolutely work that I love. And it's been pretty much more stress-free ever since. So that's pretty profound. Let's do one more. Tuesday thoughts. Life is not a race. Stop comparing yourself to others and their successes. Be patient and know that it's never too late to pursue what your heart desires, even if that needs to change to new horizons sometimes. This is part of the journey. So everything's on Tuesday thoughts. Seems to be motivational type of stuff. I'm sure if I scrolled much farther, there'd be some stuff there that is more on the annoying side. But let's move on to the next Twitter trend of the day, which is I'm going to skip these Tuesday motivation. Let's see. Bryce Harper. Trending with the Phillies. What's going on with Bryce Harper? Don't know. Is there any news on him? Let's see. Bryce Harper to the Phillies might actually be happening today. Major League Baseball rumor. Is Bryce Harper signing with the Phillies today? You know what? I wish I followed baseball more. I used to love baseball, but I just don't. I know Bryce Harper's a great player, but I don't know. Let's see. Bryce Harper fans every day opening Twitter to see if Bryce Harper signed yet. Okay, so is he with the Phillies right now? I don't even know. See, that's how much I know about baseball. I just don't follow it. What else is trending today? Kansas Day. What the hell is Kansas Day? This is going to be interesting. Happy birthday to Kansas. On this day in 1861, President James Buchanan signed a bill making Kansas the 34th state in the Union. Pictured is an 1856 map showing Kansas and Nebraska territories. Well, that's interesting to me because I grew up in Nebraska. So, looks like this map shows, I don't know, can you guys see my cursor? I think I set it up so you can see it. I don't know if you can, but there's Iowa, Missouri, and Arkansas. You see perfectly there. And then you got the Kansas territory and the Nebraska territory, which used to include like the Dakotas. Kansas is just north of the Oklahoma territory, which had part of Colorado in there. I don't know. I think old maps are cool, so just kind of my thing. All right. Alan Sawyer, hey, what's going on, man? I see you just popped in. Welcome to the show today. We're just doing Twitter trends. Oh, Inception. I don't want to, let's see, go back to Twitter trends. What else is in there? Polar Vortex 2019. Yeah, baby. You know what? Guess what? Guess who's caught in that polar vortex? Me. It is currently, what's the temperature right now? I went to work this morning and it was about 0. And now it is 8 below and it's dropping fast. Tell you what, I live in Minnesota. So in the Minnesota, the Dakotas, Wisconsin, Michigan, this whole northern part of the United States is getting this crazy cold this week. And they say it's supposed to be down to 20 below by tomorrow, possibly all the way through Thursday. And then they say it's going to go from 20 below to the mid 30s by the weekend. Go figure. Welcome, it's just whatever. So anyway, with the coming deep chill of Polar Vortex 2019, I'm reminded of the crazy winter of 77-78, where the Ohio River froze over in Cincinnati to the point where it's possible to walk across the second largest river by volume discharge in North America. Okay, good deal. Owen Harmon, good morning. I don't know if I've ever seen you here. Welcome. It's a healthy -7 Celsius in Budapest, which is probably, let's see, what would that be in Fahrenheit? It'd be somewhere around 10 degrees, I believe. 0 Celsius would be 32 Fahrenheit. I don't know whatever that is, but let's just say it's cold. It's below freeze. It's well below freezing in Budapest. Let's see. Anyone else? Yeah, there you go. Chicagoans be like, going to the store, need anything? Yeah, that's how I felt this morning going to work at UPS. So, and I'm wearing my lovely UPS shirt today. Anything else? People like to talk about the weather. What the hell? Let's talk about the weather. Okay, then we get this picture of whatever this is. It's got to be an ad that promoted. Oh, it is promoted, but showing some guy on a beach in a thread about the polar vortex. Hey, Puerto Rico, just as partly cloudy, and show me the picture. Yeah, it's in the 70s. Well, yeah, you're in freaking Puerto Rico. What do you expect? Anyway, so people love to talk about how cold it is where they live. All right, okay, moving on. That trend is boring too. Let's see what else here. Bryce Harper, Tuesday, Kansas Day, polar vortex. Jeff Flake. Okay, I'm just gonna prepare myself for this. Please don't let it be Jeff Flake running for president. Please, 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 please. Hey, Maniac Man, how's it going? Nice to see you. Jeff Flake. I'm going to click this and I'm going to regret it. I can guarantee it. In fact, I'm going to right click it. I'm going to do this. Oh, I can't. Won't even let me do that. It won't let me. Fuck it. Let's just. Well, Donald Trump Jr. said something here. Oh, here we go. Here's the CNN headline. Former Republican Senator Jeff Flake rules out 2020 primary challenge to President Trump. Yeah, I think he realized that might just be a waste of money. I don't know if there's anyone. Let's read the article real quick. Former Republican Senator Jeff Flake, whose vociferous criticism of Donald Trump sparked widespread speculation that he might mount a primary challenge to the president, flatly said Tuesday he will not launch a primary campaign against Trump in 2020. I've always said that I do hope that there is a Republican who challenges the president in the primary. I still hope that somebody does. But that somebody will not be me. I will not be a candidate, Flake said on CBS this morning. There really isn't a path right now that I can see. Certainly not unless you're willing to be out there already raising a lot of money and basically living on the road right now, said Flake, who represented Arizona before his retirement early this month. The former senator added that he thinks a Republican challenger to Trump is healthy. I'm not a fan of the president. Oh, really? Senator Flake? Yeah, I don't even know that you had to clarify that. But that challenger won't be me. Flake said an independent challenge to Trump would take a very difficult path. Traditionally, that's what history tells us, he said. I mean, you can see a scenario where it could play out, though. If there's somebody on the far left nominated in the Democratic Party, if the Republicans still nominate a weakened president, then there is perhaps a lane for an independent. It's difficult. That is difficult to see, but stranger things have happened, and I think we're living in strange times. Flake did not address whether he would seek such a candidacy. Well, he said, didn't he? First they say he flatly said he will not launch a primary campaign, and the last line of this is Flake did not address whether he would seek such a candidacy. That doesn't even make sense. Who writes for CNN here? Who wrote this? Devin Cole. Well, Devin, determine whether or not you are listening to what you write or read what you write before the proofers approve it. That's just weird. So let me ask you, chat. I've got 10 viewers right now. Hey, if you haven't, please say hi to me if you haven't. Although if you'd rather just lurk, that's cool too. But here's my question for the moment in the chat. Is there anyone in the Republican Party that you would either like to see or even think would be viable as a challenger to President Trump? I personally don't see it. The only person even possible would be, at least in my mind, would be Nikki Haley. But Reagan's ghost, right? That's probably good. Nikki Haley, maybe. Just because she's popular, but I don't think she would I don't think she would do it because she's served in Trump's administration. But I would love to see Nikki Haley run in 24. I think she'd be. I've always thought highly of her. Ben Carson, but doubt he'd stand against him. Hey Sarah, how you doing? Good morning. And I also saw Tyler F. Good morning to you too, sir. I'm welcome to the show. We're glad you're here. So the question is right now, do you think there's anyone that would be viable against as a primary challenger to President Trump? I personally do not think so. Also, maybe we'll talk about the Democrat candidates later, not today, but another day. But I would want to get into that too, see if you think there's anyone in the Democratic Party that's viable. But let's not go there right this moment. But anyway, I don't think though. I don't think so. That's my favorite word. Let's see. So anyone, people are saying, oh, Siraj Hashmi. I don't know who that is, but upon the news of saying that Jeff Flake won't run, he tweets, "Stunning and brave." Ian Milhauser. Here's a lot of people are talking about, this is the most perfect Jeff Flake move that ever Jeff Flaked. He's going to be paid to say mean things about Donald Trump, but do nothing about it. Yep. Oh my gosh. I guarantee you that he will be all over the airwaves, because nothing the media likes more than a Republican who doesn't like President Trump. Can you hear me, Anna Navarro? You are gainfully employed for at least 2 more years and probably 6. So yeah, let's see. Owen Harmon, I think the GOP needs to really get behind Trump in 2020 and shed the never Trump image. If they stand a primary against him, they'll get punished in Congress. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Me being, and I remember, I'm one of those never Trump people, although I'm not, let's say I'm not anti-Trump. I just was one of those never Trump people when he ran the first time. I am slowly considering changing my mind based on what's happening in the world and with some of the people that we hear from on a daily basis. I just think these people on the left have lost their minds too. Okay, anything else on Jeff Flake? Okay, that's enough of that one. Let's see what else is trending on Twitter. I'll put me at my lovely face up there and go back to the trending page. All right, we've got Jeff Flake, Christie. Trending with Mike Madigan. What's this? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, Christie. Here, we'll put this up. Christie argues that the Trump campaign was too disorganized to pull off any real collusion. Yeah, the collusion story. Oh, God. With the 2020 race underway, is incompetence really the case you want to make as you ask voters for 4 more years? Ask Chris Cuomo. Well, Chris Cuomo, if he was if that's true, and his, he was so incompetent, imagine how incompetent the people he beat were. I'm just saying. Oh, God. Exclusive. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie writes in a new book that President Trump asked multiple times if he would be willing to be vice president. As I got off the phone with Donald, the vice president didn't feel like an exercise anymore. Well, whatever. Apparently, Chris Christie has a new book. I haven't seen it. Apparently, and that's why everyone's talking about Chris Christie today. So we'll be hearing excerpt. The funny thing is, let me take a sip of coffee here. The funny thing is, the only thing you're going to hear about this book today are the things the media can say are negative, unless you're in Fox News. And then in Fox News, you're only going to hear the things that Christie says that were positive. So if you really want to know what Chris Christie thinks and want to get your own opinion of it, the only way to do it is read his book. I'm not that interested. So I am. But let's see. This has been reported before, but Chris Christie reminds on Morning Joe that Chris Wray was his Bridgegate lawyer. He says that Wray gave him clear advice in the case. Talk publicly, and I quit. That's the greatest advice I've ever heard from a lawyer. Shut your mouth and let me do my job. Christie says he was so happy with Wray's work that he told Trump to pick him as FBI director. Well... I love that. Clear advice in case. Talk publicly, and I quit. Shut your mouth. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. So anyway, that's about Chris Christie's book. Let's see. Let's check a couple more, and then we're gonna move on from trending today. Let's see here. We got Chris Christie was 10, and after that, Dan Coates. Oh my gosh, DNI Coates. Yeah, honestly, anything. There's none of these are interesting. Senate Judiciary Committee. Okay, whatever. Harley Davidson. Why is Harley Davidson trending? That'll be the interesting. This will be my last Twitter trend of the day. Harley Davidson. What's going on? Oh, you know what? Now I know why. Because it's negative. Harley Davidson reported Trump's trade tariffs wiped out all its profits in the most recent quarter. Well, that's interesting. Because yeah, Harley Davidson sells a ton of bikes overseas, and they broke even in the last quarter of a year in which the iconic American motorcycle maker got caught in I'm going to say that sentence ends in President Trump's tariffs. Okay, and that's really bad. That's bad, but we're going to see what goes on with these tariffs. I know that the Chinese premier is coming over here, and they've been kind of they've been showing signs that that trade war may be on a downward spiral, and so we'll see. We'll just have to watch that. All right, enough of Twitter trends for today. So let's see here. Now, I just noticed. Let's see. I got to mention here. Maybe it's just someone retweeting. Oh, by the way, you know what? Thank you, Sarah, for retweeting the stream. If you haven't already done that, I'll throw a link up here. Oh, I don't want it to. Don't do that. Okay, hang on. Oh shoot, what am I doing here? Sometimes you just got to be smarter than the button that you use to click the mouse, and I'm not doing that today. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to go back into I'll put this in this chat if you'd be so kind as to tweet this out. If you have a Twitter account, you don't have to if you don't, obviously, or you can just send the link out on whatever you use for social media. Let me find my brain here. All right, here we go. There it is. All right, I'm going to put that in the chat. There we go. Click, paste, and click. There we go. So that's thank you, David Tisdale. I don't see you here, but that must mean that you're watching. So good morning, David. Thank you so much for retweeting my stream for the morning. All right, let's get into some headlines here real quick. I'm going to, like I said, because of my change of venue this morning, I had to make some adjustments to what I'm doing. So let's see some headlines real quick. And I like to take my headlines from one of my favorite blogs from back in the day. Diesel Dave. Hey, good morning. Thank you very much. Again, thanks for tweeting us out. By the way, as I've mentioned before, I really, really do appreciate when you guys let other people know that I'm here. That's probably the only way that people are going to find out about me. YouTube, and I'm too small of a channel right now for YouTube to promote me, but you guys doing it is such a godsend to me, and I appreciate you very much. And all of you who show up on pretty much on a daily basis, I really appreciate you. So again, thank you so much. All right, let's check out some headlines here. Dire urgency for Trump's wall. It's in front page. Of course, a wall would work. This is the one I'm going to look at. So this is an article called "Of Course a Wall Would Work." Now, what I'm finding out as I've been listening to this debate for a few weeks now, there's a certain senator named Chuck Schumer there we go again. Looks like I need some coffee. Hang on. And a certain Speaker of the House named Nancy Pelosi, who liked to describe the wall as an ineffective wall. Which is very interesting to me, because how do you know a wall is ineffective unless you try it? And there's plenty of walls around the world that certainly work. Now, what I've been finding out as I've been listening to this debate more and more, that originally when President Trump was talking about a wall, obviously the idea was, this giant cement wall all the way from San Diego all the way over through Texas, along the southern border. But what he has done, the reason that the idea on that has changed is because he's been talking to the people who work along the border. And so they've said, yeah, modifications to that plan are probably in order because you don't need a wall in the entire length of the border. You need certain types of barriers at different places. So some places it might be the giant prototypes you see of the cement walls with the whatever, and some might be different types of barriers that are that would make sense for the location. Gosh, I keep coughing and coughing and coughing. So anyway, let's read this this article from the American Thinker, and it's really weird to offset the way that shows up on the screen. But anyway, let's do this. Here, let's do this. Bing, bing, bing. We'll just make it for... Oh, I can't even do the old man thing on here. Here, let's try it. Oh, there we go. There, we'll grow it up there. Illegal immigration has been a problem since I was old enough to know what the problem was. Something needs to be done to fix it. Yet, the Democrats and neoconservatives have gone far past my uneasiness to repeatedly claim such a wall would be immoral and a monument to racism. Okay, and that whole argument is silly. I'm going to move on. Anyway, leaving the morality of the wall aside, the second major criticism Democrats and neocons make is that a wall wouldn't work. In Nancy Pelosi's and Chuck Schumer's creepy response to Trump's national address, again, this is an editorial. These are not my opinions, not that I disagree with them, but just the wording is going to be editorialized. Anyway, Pelosi claimed that forcing American taxpayers to waste millions of dollars on an inexpensive and ineffective wall. Schumer added that Democrats and the president both want stronger border security. No, they don't. The president does. The Democrats don't. However, we sharply disagree with the president about the most effective way to do it. With this 2019, Chuck Schumer took a broad swipe at 2009 Chuck Schumer, who had this to say. Chuck Schumer: our border is far more secure today. The progress includes 9,000 new Border Patrol field agents in the last 4 years and construction of a 630-mile border fence that create a significant barrier to illegal immigration on our southern land border. Okay, so border wall equals ineffective and racist. Border fence equals smart and effective border security. Got it? Let's just do it like, if you're familiar with Scribe Light. Got it. These are just baseless assertions. However, given Trump has requested and the House passed a budget with only $5.7 billion for the wall, it's hard to qualify that as expensive compared to the government. And at least in government speak, given the 2019 federal budget is estimated to be $4.407 trillion, the wall would only amount to 0.13% of the federal budget. So let's turn to Adam Conover's show, Adam Ruins Everything, and his short segment, Why Building a Border Wall Makes No Sense. Spoilers, Adam ruins this segment. You know what? I wonder if we should just watch that segment. Can I get in trouble for that? I bet I can. Let's go. He starts off noting, the wall would have to stretch over 2,000 miles of rough terrain, cutting through mountains, rivers, villages, and even people's homes. No, Adam, it wouldn't. Shockingly, the wall's course would not actually be bound to follow the exact trajectory of the American-Mexican border. It can obviously go around villages and natural obstructions. That's true. Next, Adam points out, it's estimated that between 27 and 40% of all undocumented immigrants in America came here on planes. Okay. They came here legally through passport control, then just overstayed their visas. Remember, folks, planes can fly over walls. Yeah, that's great, but that's not the big issue. Certainly, they need to fix things. Is this going to show up in the article, me making this argument? Sure it is. Yeah, Okay, that's not the issue we're talking about. That's just changing the subject. Of course, no one ever claimed that a border wall itself would be sufficient to stop all illegal immigration. Some may be surprised to learn that you're not going to lose weight with exercise and 3 daily trips to the hometown buffet. Next, we'll turn to Nick Kolakowski over at Medium, which has turned into yet another left-wing dominated tech platform. You know, I'm on Medium. I don't write articles anymore. Well, I have never written an article that I put over there. But he wrote a piece called A Brief History of Border Walls. In this article, Kolakowski discusses the ancient Hadrian's Wall, Israel's West Bank Wall, which we will return to shortly, and the Great Wall of China, which did repel some raiders, but ultimately failed at key points, because such a defense is only good as the forces defending it. Kolakowski appears to have discovered that we will not be able to fire all our border agents just because we built the wall. Who said we were going to? Who the hell said we were going to fire all our border agents? Holy shit. He then turns to the walls of Constantinople. To be fair, those defenses managed to protect Constantinople through any number of sieges and attacks. Those mighty walls might have resisted arrows, tunnels, siege machines, and boats, but cannons could tear right through them. Okay, I'm not sure that if you build... then he's the writer here. If you build a 20-foot wall, they'll build a 21-foot cannon. Yeah, right. So... Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so the left's argument about why a wall won't work are rather weak, but that still leaves the question as to why they don't work. While it's true that someone could use a ladder to climb over a wall, it would cause a delay to do so. Furthermore, a wall could be designed in such a way as to make it very difficult and intimidating to use a ladder. Trump's spiked steel slat barrier proposal certainly would. The key thing a border wall would do, however, is create an easily monitorable choke point. As the ACLU complains while failing to reach the logical conclusion, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the federal agency tasked with patrolling the U.S. border in areas that function like a border, claims a territorial reach much larger than you might imagine. The federal government defines a reasonable distance as 100 air miles from any external boundary of the U.S. The Mexico-United States border stretches 1,954 miles, which means the area being patrolled is approximately 195,400 square miles. It's far easier to patrol a linear border with a barrier than such a massive swath of territory. Well, yeah, and why does that not make sense to these people? It's not about, the wall's not, if you put a wall or barriers, doesn't mean that it's going to stop everyone, but it does force people to, anyway. All right, I'm just going to keep going. A border wall would allow U.S. Customs and Border Protection to consolidate its efforts along the wall. Cameras could be set up every 1,000 feet or so, and drones could hover along looking for potential crossers. When someone approaches a wall border, patrol agents can quickly be dispatched to pick them up and deport them. Therefore, it shouldn't be surprising that a survey of over 600 Border Patrol agents found that 89% believed it was necessary. This is what I don't understand about this whole issue. Is anybody talking to the Border Patrol agents? Clearly, this poll of Border Patrol agents does. The Border Patrol agents feel that that's a viable answer. Also, it drives me insane that we've been talking about this. I remember when I was a little kid in the 70s, this was an issue. And every little lame thing they've done about this, they've always failed to, every law they've passed about illegal immigration and what they're going to do now and here and there, they've never done anything to actually secure the border. So I never understood why this doesn't make sense to them. Okay, you're going to pass a law about what to do with these people crossing the border illegally, but you don't do anything to fix that issue. Now, clearly, when Schumer was talking about the where is it? The border fencing. When he, our border is far more secure today. This is in 2009. Chuck Schumer. Our border is far more secure today. The progress includes 9,000 new Border Patrol field agents in the last 4 years and construction of a 630-mile border fence that create a significant barrier to illegal immigration. On the southern land border. So yeah, it was effective in 2009, but a new one would not be effective in 2019. I don't get it. And if you really look at statements from many politicians who are opposing it now as that were not opposing it then, it's the same thing. So I don't know. It's just a silly argument. All right, moving on. Let's find another article here to go through. How much time I got? Okay, I'm doing good at time. I know my alarm's about to go off, and I'll fix that later. So back into headlines. Where am I at here? Ace of Spades. Let's see. Oh, so just a side note. I was watching. I've been watching the news or looking over the news over the last 24 hours, and apparently the CEO of Starbucks was talking at some forum about how he was considering doing an independent run for president. Maybe I'll see if I can find that. And people in the audience were just heckling the hell out of him because they're just saying, if you run, this is just some, ego trip that you're just going to help Trump win if you run. And I'm like, wow, these people are they were really pissed off. I wonder if there's anything in here about this. Let's see. All right. So here's a funny thing. Did the article really make the argument that they could blow up the wall? No. What that was about was they were talking about the wall of Constantinople, where there apparently it was stopping people until the cannon was invented, and cannons were blowing holes in that wall. So in a sense, they were. Yeah, you could blow up the wall. There's all kinds. Of course, obviously, you could. Hey, the people trying to cross the border could figure out a design flaw in your wall and figure out how they could scratch a hole through it with a spoon too. There's all kinds of possibilities, but whatever. That's why they're making designs for it to be effective. The argument that the expensive and ineffective wall is just a stupid argument because you don't know if it's an ineffective wall. You cannot predict that. Why would it be ineffective when you're thinking about it? How about if you design it correctly so it's not ineffective? Why don't you ask the Border Patrol agents, who 89% believe that would be a boon to what they're to help them do their job. So yeah, no, they didn't ask that, Tyler. So let's go here. Let me just I'm going to read I'll read some of these titles out loud because Ace has a funny way of titling his articles. Kamalato, quote, inhumane to maybe protect DACA kids but not parents. I won't vote for a wall under any circumstances. Well, so inhumane to maybe protect DACA kids but not parents. Of course, the Democrats made this all about DACA. Huckabee Sanders, Dems will get virtually nothing if they don't make a deal and Trump takes executive action. That is true. I'm not thrilled with the idea of making an emergency declaration over a border wall, since it's something that's been going on for 30 years. And I understand people want that wall and whatever. I'm me being the one of limited presidential powers, me personally, I just don't like that idea, but it's a possibility of happening because they keep talking about it. Hemingway, what pundits get wrong about border security fight? We just talked about that, so it's in a different article. Mulvaney, many Democrats have come to us saying they're starting to agree with Trump on the necessity for a barrier. Yeah, there's a bunch of Democrats saying that they don't want to call it a wall, but they're starting to agree with Trump on the necessity for a barrier. All right, let's go. Civil War 2.0. Texas Democrats seek to ban Christianity using so-called anti-discrimination laws. There's my alarm. I should turn that off. Texas Democrats seek to ban Christianity using so-called anti-discrimination laws. Or the left's collateral damage. I want to go with left's collateral damage. There's an article too that I want to read. It's here local about about how Twitter mobs work even when it's the wrong person. And so I'm going to find that article. It's from the city pages. I saw it this morning. Okay. No. Do I want to read this? What's this about? Nah, we're gonna skip this one. I'm gonna find a better one. All right. Oh, is my alarm the more you know jingle? No, it's just one of the standard jingles on the Note. I have a Note 9, and it's one of the standard jingles on there. The one that was least annoying to me, and I use an alarm that when I'm sleeping will not startle me, but it will gently wake me up, and that's one. And then one that my wife won't hear. Although I hear everything when I hear noises at night, I hear everything and it wakes me up. And my wife can sleep through things except for her alarm. So fortunately, I get up before her, and it's a quiet alarm that nobody can hear. I can hear her alarm from the basement. Let's see here. So here's an example of a headline that Ace rewrites. Rancida T. Labia's ties to anti-Semitism run deeper than previously known. What is her name for real? Rashida Tlaib. He calls her Rancida T. Labia. Oh, that's a Daily Call article. You can look that one up yourself. What else? Also, voter fraud. Texas cites evidence that non-citizens are casting ballots. This is an art. If you've been following it, in Texas, they found out that since the truth is it says something about 58,000 non-citizens voted in Texas. Now, let's see. I don't think that's just in the last election. I think that's since 1996. But the fact that they're saying that no non-citizens have been voting elections. How do they know? I mean, you've got things like motor voter where people just have to get a driver's license and they can, especially in California, it's like it's guaranteed that there are people who are non-citizens are voting in elections. Is it as grand a scale as the president thinks, or is it not? But they have no way of figuring it out. In Ohio, John Husted found 821 non-citizens registered to vote in that state, of whom 126 had voted in 2016. How do they even know? I guess because here in Minnesota, you have to sign off in your name that you're there to vote. So maybe that's how they know. I don't know if they do that in every state. I don't know. All you have to do is show your registration in some states, but who knows? Anyway, let's see. Oh, he calls. Pelosi invites the president to deliver the State of the Union, and the president accepts. A little more government shutdown theater here. Excuse me. Let's do a sip of coffee here. You're freezing up some? Huh. Am I? Is that common with everybody or just with Alan Sawyer? I don't know. Am I freezing up? Here. Well, anyway, let's see here. Pelosi to Trump. I invite you to deliver your State of the Union on February 5th. God, so many ads. Here's her letter. Dear President. Oh, no, this is from Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House. Dear Mr. President, when I wrote you on January 23rd, I stated that we should work together to find a mutually agreeable date when government has reopened to schedule this year's State of the Union address. In our conversation today, we agreed on February 5th. Therefore, I invite you to deliver your State of the Union address before a joint session of Congress on February 5th, 2019, in the House chamber. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Let's see. You say you're getting a momentary buffering. Let me check something real quick. I just want to do. Let's see. Let's go pull this off real quick. We'll do a little internet speed check. See if my speed test is. Do a real quick upload here. I should have some like soothing like elevator music while I'm doing this. Well, my download speeds are at 125 roughly. Where's my upload speed? Upload speed. I'm at right around 10, so it should be fine from here. That could be a YouTube issue. Although it's looking pretty clear. Let's see here. Yeah, fine on a mobile. Looks fine on mine. It might, you know what? And I'm doing my resolution at 720 as far as the view quality on YouTube. I don't know if you're having. Oh, hey, hi, Hascat. You're poof out of nowhere. There you are. Hello, welcome to the stream. So I'm not sure. It might be a YouTube thing where you are. It could be. Who knows? Man, they don't make it easy to. They don't make it easy to figure out what problem you might be having. But my upload speeds are fine for this, so it should be working okay. Let me know if you keep having problems, and I'll find someone who knows more than me that can help with that. So, okay, so that was her letter to the president inviting him to to do the State of the Union on February 5th, and Trump quickly accepted the invitation with his letter back. Dear Madam Speaker, thank you for your letter inviting me to deliver the State of the Union address before a joint session of Congress on Tuesday, February 5th, 2019. It is my great honor to accept. We have a great story to tell and yet great goals to achieve. So, the Dog and Pony Show, known as the State of the Union, will be on February 5th. Let's see. January 23rd, Pelosi and Trump exchanged contentious letters about the State of the Union, which was scheduled for January 29th. Trump told Pelosi he had planned to honor her original invitation to deliver the speech on that date in the House chamber. Pelosi snapped that he will not have the ability to deliver the State of the Union on the House floor during the shutdown. After hours of media speculating Trump's next move, he tweeted at 11:12 p.m. Eastern Time on January 23rd that he had decided not to hold it then. So, February 5th is the date for a new Dog and Pony Show known as the State of the Union, where one side of the chamber will be standing at certain times, and the other side of the chamber will be standing at certain times, and he'll probably, oh God, yippee! I can't wait. I know everyone loves the State of the Union. That's my favorite. That's almost as good as the Super Bowl. Excuse me. Had to gag a little bit there. Reparations coffee. All right. What else is here? Let's go. Just a couple more things, and we'll get the heck out of here. Politics. No. Uh-oh. I thought this was going to be something about stolen valor. I thought it was going to be something about our good friend Nathan Phillips, a.k.a. Chief Lying Fire Pants, but it's not. This one's about Blumenthal. Oh gosh, Trump, please stop tweeting. But it is funny because Blumenthal was another one of those people who thinks he's a Vietnam vet. President Donald Trump renewed his attack on Democratic Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal on Monday for lying about his record of military service during the Vietnam War. How does Da Nang Dick, Blumenthal, serve on the Senate Judiciary Committee when he defrauded the American people about his so-called war hero status in Vietnam, only later to admit, with tears pouring down his face, that he was never in Vietnam? Trump tweeted, "An embarrassment to our country." And I'm sure that somewhere right behind that tweet, by the Cassensteins decided to talk about Trump's bone spurs. But anyway, Blumenthal has received massive backlash for suggesting as early as 2008 that he served in combat in Vietnam during his time in the U.S. Marine Corps Reserves. Records show that he was granted at least 5 military deferments during his tenure and repeatedly took steps to allow him to dodge going to war. Although Blumenthal initially left the erroneous reports of his service in Vietnam uncorrected, he ultimately issued a correction and apology in 2010. Trump first bestowed the name Da Nang Dick to Blumenthal in October after the Connecticut senator challenged the integrity of Justice Brett Kavanaugh during his confirmation hearing to the Supreme Court. So, lots of people... Oh, who am I pulling for the Super Bowl? That's a good question. Let me finish this up real quick. You know, I don't know. Trump probably shouldn't be razzing people about that as far as I'm concerned. Trump did not serve, and, you know, he got out of it due to bone spurs that some people say were nefarious. I don't care. You know, he did not say that he was. I guess lying about being in Vietnam is probably worse than not going at all. So Blumenthal is kind of a jerk. So anyway, who am I going? That's a good question. Who am I going for in the Super Bowl? And you know what? That's what I'm going to finish up with. So here's my thing. I think that the Belichick-Brady era in New England, it might be as incredible a sports phenomenon as there has ever been. And it's easy to hate the teams who have had success, especially teams that have had success against the team that you like. But that combination has been golden for New England. I really, really, really appreciate what they have done. The Los Angeles Rams, which I believe is the other team in the Super Bowl. If I got that wrong, I'm going to be really embarrassed. But is a franchise that, when I was a kid, was in Los Angeles and later ended up in St. Louis. Then it went back to Los Angeles and really hasn't had as much success except for that short time when what's that guy? The grocery bagger guy took him to the Super Bowl and won. Can't remember, but I tend to want to root for the underdog. So I know lots of people are probably sick of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. My prediction is that New England will win, but I personally would rather see Los Angeles win. Just because they're the underdog, and I don't really have a dog in this fight. I don't care for either team. I'm a Minnesota Viking fan via osmosis. I am a Washington Redskins fan because that's who I liked when I was a kid. I grew up. I think Sonny Jurgensen was done by the time I was really cared about football. But there was Billy Kilmer back then. I was a big Joe Theismann fan. I loved Timmy Smith when he was a running back. I think. Now I blank out. I like the Doug Williams era, and Kurt Warner. Thank you. That was the Rams quarterback, and John Riggins may be one of my favorite running backs of all time. I just was a big Riggo fan, and I'm from the era, especially in the 80s and the 90s, when the Redskins had a lot of success. They won 2 Super Bowls kind of in that era. I was a big fan of the Hogs. The Hogs were there. They might have had the greatest offensive line in history, and I was a big fan of Riggins. So a lot of fun when they were having great success. Oh, don't unsub just because I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings because I've lived here 30 years. You know, it's just through osmosis. It's hard to root against the team that you live in. Let me guess, Sarah. Let me guess. You've got to be a Bears or Packers fan, because those pretty much the Lions fans don't automatically hate the Vikings, but if mostly Bears and Packer fans have that visceral reaction, just like Vikings fans have a visceral reaction to the Packers. Bears and Packers fans have that same reaction to the Vikings. Hopefully I'll find out if that's correct. But again, I'm a Vikings fan through osmosis, but just from living here for that long. And, like I said, the Redskins just kind of, although I haven't really followed the Redskins in the last 15 years closely like I used to, just because I've been here so long, and now I'm kind of caught up in the Viking history. And my wife's a huge Vikings fan. Her father, my in-laws, all my family from her side are huge Viking fans. So, it's hard to live in a town where everyone's rooting for one team and then you're not going to eventually like them too, or at least root for them. So, anyway, let's see is there anything funny that I want a funny story, because, let's see. Oh, no, here's a great story. Here's what I'm going to finish with, because I think this was awesome. And every once in a while, a lot of people have their opinions about Jake Tapper, but one thing that Jake Tapper does that's really cool is he is a very huge advocate for veterans. And he will, whenever there's a veterans holiday, either Veterans Day or any of those days that are referring to veterans, he's always tweeting out things about veterans. And so this is a great story. I'm going to put this up on the screen, and that's how we're going to finish today. I really, really love this story. So thousands of veterans show up to properly send off a Texas Air Force veteran. On Saturday, Fuzzy blogged that a Texas cemetery asked the public to attend the funeral of an Air Force veteran, Joseph Walker, out of concerns that no one would be there. This shows the power of social media. It caught the attention of Senator Ted Cruz and CNN's Jake Tapper, who pleaded with people to attend the funeral. It worked. Joseph Walker served in the Air Force from September 1964 to September 1968, including service in the Vietnam War. He died on November 19th at the age of 72 of natural causes. Fox News reported that his family contacted a funeral home in Austin to arrange for a funeral service, but then could not be reached. Central Texas State Veterans Cemetery asked people to come to the funeral via Facebook. From the Killeen Daily Herald, quote, an unaccompanied burial of Air Force veteran Joseph Walker drew a large crowd to the Central Texas State Veterans Cemetery this morning, causing officials to delay the start of the ceremony by more than 30 minutes. A crowd of estimated at nearly 2,000 people clogged the roads to the cemetery, causing a traffic backup along State Highway 195. Cemetery officials had offered the possibility last week that no one would be in attendance for the burial. The Veterans Land Board, which runs the cemetery, works with the local community and fellow veterans support groups to ensure that no veteran is left behind after they pass away. What they thought that his family thought that no one would be there, just because most of his contemporaries were dead, and he wasn't he didn't have a whole lot of, I don't know what it was, but that is just so cool. So Jake Tapper began tweeting it out. Ted Cruz tweeted it out. Anyway, let's move on. The Wind Therapy Freedom Riders also attended. I think it's a bicycle group. Member Luis Rodriguez said, "Let us show our respect for an American veteran." from KWTX. This is absolutely the biggest, and we want to thank the media. It's the media that pushes it out real far, because I was receiving calls from people all the way from Oregon, said Douglas Galt, the chief on-site representative of the Texas State Veterans Cemetery Program. A KWTX reporter at the scene said the line to get in the cemetery was miles long, and initial reports indicate some 5,000 to 6,000 vehicles were in line. Funeral services for unaccompanied veterans such as Walker aren't unusual at the cemetery, but most are attended by only a handful of people. Man, it's just such a cool story. So here's a picture. Someone, look at the line. If you can see the picture, there's a line of cars. Looks just for miles long, stretching miles to attend the funeral of an Air Force veteran with no family. Apparently had. Now I am confused because it said the family contacted them, but then it said he didn't have any family. So we're not sure how that happened. But just some of the pictures here you can see on the screen as we're going. Incredible turnout at U.S. Air Force veteran Joseph Walker's funeral this morning in Killeen. Looks like they've got got an honor guard there and just tons of people there with flags. Just the coolest thing. Guys on motorcycles coming in. Apparently they had just thousands of people there. So that is just really cool. Texas VLB. We are overwhelmed by the amazing love and support shown for U.S. Air Force veteran Joseph Walker, who was laid to rest today at Central Texas State Veterans Cemetery in Killeen. Words cannot properly describe how grateful we are to everyone who came out today. So that was just a touching story. Just a cool thing. And on that note, that's how I'm going to end it today. So we'll be back tomorrow, same time. Hopefully it'll be the same. I'm going to leave the setup in this room. Hope you like my new backdrop with my piano and some pictures. I still have some. Oh my gosh! I just looked in the picture. I still have some Christmas decorations there I haven't put away. Well, isn't that great? Okay. Here's my quick viewer poll of the 10 people who are watching. If you still have a Christmas decoration up somewhere in your house, apartment, or whatever dwelling you live in, click 1. Why is my phone ringing? I don't know. I'm not going to answer it. Click 1 if you have. There's got to be something. So, and that's it for today, people. Thank you so much for being here. I hope I was entertaining. And you know what? Like I said, the biggest thing you can do as far as supporting this channel is to hit that share button right below the screen you're looking at, whether it's on your phone or on your computer screen. There's a little share with the arrow on there. Click that, share it out. Even if, wrenches. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I should probably think about that someday. Having moderators for the chat. You know, my chat's not really big yet. I'll probably, you know what, some of you people who are regulars here will probably be the people who will get the wrenches when I start doing that. I haven't even figured out how to do that yet. So, again, this is all new to me, but I'll get to it, man. I'll get to it. But you guys would be great moderators because you're the people who are here supporting me from day one and so on and so forth. So, hey, I just noticed Zombie Teddy there. Hi, Zombie Teddy. I didn't even see you in the chat before, but welcome. I'm glad you're here and hope you enjoyed the show, but I'm about to end it, guys. I'm sorry. So anyway, thank you again for watching. This is the Morning Night with Dawg Knight, and I really thank you for being here. If you want to support the channel, hit the share button underneath the screen there. You could always hit my Streamlabs too eventually, but that's, again, this is a free show, but those people who donate, I appreciate that too. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, look on the screen right below my lovely caption picture of me, and it says there at Dawg Knight. I also have an Instagram at YesThatMarty, which supports my second channel, which you can find in the description down below. All these things are in the description. Thank you again. Did I do what? Wait, what? See you tomorrow. Did anything up in the what? Anyway, I'll just end it there. Thank you very much. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here.